Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, bringing you a rather lovely example of a Ford Corsair from 1966. In fact, this one was registered in January 66. It is a 1700 V4 engine. The engine itself has been rebuilt and it runs very nicely. In fact, the car is a pleasure to drive. Now, we do have some nice paperwork with the car, and there is some photographic evidence that back in 2020, I believe, the car did actually have a full body repaint, and the actual underside around the same time was fully stripped and painted the same color as the car, and then it was fully wax oiled. Now, the car has been kept in a garage with a cover over it, and it has actually done a very nice job of keeping it in good order. It's nice and original. The dashboard looks to be in super condition. It's got 70,000 miles on. Now, it's very difficult to be sure of actual mileage of cars of this age, but when we take into account certain telltale signs, condition of the interior, that's usually a good indicator. Now, the seats look to be original, I would say, by the condition. The carpet looks to have been replaced, and there's lots of originality about the car. Bearing in mind it doesn't look to have been got at, it hasn't been customized, it hasn't got oversized exhaust and engines, and it is rock solid underneath, and actually having a solid car is rather important. Now, this one has suffered some minor micro blistering here and there. You'd have to get up so close, it's impossible to actually see it unless you are looking extremely closely. And the car does actually present very nicely, very nice straight lines. Sorry, that door is actually slightly open when I was looking in there earlier. But let's open it up, and you can see just how nice and solid this car is, how attractive the interior is, and the headlining is nice and bright, and it just generally looks like a well-preserved survivor rather than a super heavily restored car, despite the fact that it has had this paintwork which has been carried out. Oops, I have to shut that door up properly. Very, very nice condition. The only part in the whole car is right at the bottom of this door. It's just got a little bubble that's formed here. Other than that, the rest of the paintwork does seem very, very solid, and it'd be a nice car to see underneath. Now, I can't show you too much because I'm stood up here, but when you actually see it, it's all been painted underneath and fully wax oiled. Now, this two-tone effect does look rather lovely. A nice period pastel colours. It's the Deluxe model. That's the V4 badge on the back. This is where the fuel goes. We have a little, there you go, that's a nice little feature of that car. And interestingly, it's a bigger car, longer car than the Mark I Cortina, but people may not realise, but actually all the glass is the same as the Mark I Cortina. They never made a Mark II Corsair, and then they run through to when the actual Mark III 2000e took over from the Corsair 2000e, which was a 2000cc version of this car. Now, the styling cues, I think personally, if you look at a full Thunderbird from the mid-60s, I think you can see where they've got this idea from. Look, the way the wing comes to a point. It's a beautiful, stylish car. We've had a few Corsairs over the years. We love them. They're very popular with our customers. I've got a Ford Corsair Owners Club badge in the middle. I've got nice original looking chrome work, not brand new and redone, but not heavily pitted. A good, honest classic. I think I've mentioned how solid she was underneath and how nicely she drives. Having the rebuilt engine makes a big difference. I think she's priced very sensibly. Personally, I would keep the car just as she is and enjoy her. But for those who want to go to the next level, it is possible to do things like detail the engine a little, engine bay a little, even though it is actually perfectly good. There is a photograph of it actually in the photo section. Nice huge boot. The rear bumper to me looks as if it's probably been refurbished. It's in such good condition. And now let's have a little look at some of these panel gaps, which are very good, which is a good sign. And before getting close, it's hard to see. Can you see that? Some micro blistering. If I tilt the camera a little, so there's a little micro blistering here and there over the entire car, and that's why you've got to be so careful when you put a cover over your car. Make sure you buy a high quality breathable cover, because if you just stick a plastic cover over there, the car doesn't have the chance to breathe, and any moisture can then bounce back onto the paint and cause this micro blistering. Now this one's only very, very minor because the car was only painted probably 3.5 years ago. However, it's just a little tip for anyone watching. Obviously, as you imagine, we see a lot of cars in and out, and we know what the cause of that is. So to avoid it, please take heed. So the car is ready to go. We have had a PDI. We sell cars with an MOT. Despite the fact that this one is both tax and MOT exempt. The car starts on the button. It's very smooth. But now let's have a little sit inside so we can have a look what it's like in there. Well, actually, there's a tiny little bit of damage on that seat as you first come in, but other than that, these seats and door cards are in rather lovely condition. If I was being fussy, there's a little bit of fur flex, which is a little worn here, which I think you can forgive a car that's probably knocking on for 60 years old. It's lovely that we've got a probably the original period Motorola radio. I doubt that works. However, I have noticed there's a Sony unit in the background which will come with the car for those who want to. The little glove box, and I've noticed all of this works. Those of you who remember can probably think about the vacuum wipers that work on a big vacuum tank with pipe work. Here's the dashboard, fuel tank temperature gauge and miles per gallon. I'm sorry, and speedo in the middle. Quite basic. Here's the handbrake, gear stick, fitted with period, well, original seat belts, I'm sure. Not in the back, of course. Nice and honest. Right, now, I promised you a startup. Now, let's see if it's going to be kind. Oh, that's very nice. So, she revs up nicely, and I can hear the fuel pump pumping away. And it's a cold day here, but this one always starts very, very nicely. Because it's on modern tyres, it actually steers quite nicely as well. And there we are, just in our top car park, just taking her for a little manoeuvre, just so you can hear that nice engine revving up. And then here she is. Well, folks, that's a quick look round a Corsair from 1966. That's a V4 model, and in lovely usable condition. By no means concours, but by no means a project. This is a good, honest, everyday working classic. Full prices always cease to amaze me. They seem to rise in time, so it's usually fair to say they've always proven to be a surefire investment. In time, the prices do go up. People love Fords, and there's no reason why this couldn't be a regular feature at the local car show, your Sunday driver, or in fact, if you really want to be retro, this could be your daily driver. It's in that sort of condition. It certainly stops well, goes well, steers well. It's a good everyday working classic. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching my video today. Any questions, please get in touch through the usual ways. You're welcome to come and have a look at this car. We can take her for a test drive, make sure she's right for you, or we can arrange delivery nationwide at a very sensible price. I just need your postcode for a quote. We offer a part exchange service. We'll take your existing classic, we'll take your modern car, or we can take in a light commercial to facilitate a deal. Yeah, we do our best to make your classic car ownership dreams come true. It's Danny at Bradley James Classics signing out. Thank you for watching today's video.